Yo, what's up everyone? Let me notify the Discord server real quick. How's everyone doing? Do people even see that channel? I don't know. Yeah, now live. Just hit 650 ELO for the first time. Inner peace, yo, HO6, what's up, brother? HO6, which... Oh wait, it's HM6, never mind. Good job, bro. For the first time, that's pretty good. That means you are a veteran trainer, right? Good job, brother. Good job, good job. Yeah, guys, today we're gonna be rewatching my tournaments, and we can do it in two ways. We can do it like this, or we can just get the footage I had. I wasn't commentating over the games. I was just playing, just chilling. Basically multitasking as well during the tournament. But it might be more fun and engaging for you guys if I show you guys my point of view. This. That's probably what I'm going to do. Yeah, so how's everyone doing? Few people in the chat right now. Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. Just some Glitch City in the background. But yeah, when I was playing the tournament, I was playing a bit of a fun team. I brought the Azumarill. You better play a good song. And I can. Hello, Lily. I can. So, two ways, guys. I can open up this from the moment I was playing, or we can open up the tournament thing, tournament history thing, and just watch it. What do you guys prefer? Yo, Rainer, what's up, brother? What do you guys prefer? Watch my point of view, or just watch the spectate thing? My perspective. That's all right. For one game at least. Yeah, the speed is the same. The speed is the same, but yeah, I can just open this up. As you guys see, we were bringing some spies. I brought Sigaliv and I brought Azumarill. Even brought the Metagross there. Like, as you guys can see, look at my battle text, guys. I just leveled up this Azumarill just before the tournament. Like, I didn't test anything. I just created the team and we went into the tournament on the day. As you guys can see, I wanted to learn superpower, so got it to level 15. Did the same with Metagross as well. Yo, Darkside, what's up, brother? If I'm doing another turn, I don't know. Yeah, I was basically just chilling. But definitely some spicy battles. Brought an interesting scissor set to the table as well. And even though I'm not a fan of Raikou, I just decided to bring Raikou. People wanted to see more Raikou, so that's why I decided to use him. So what I'm gonna do for a second here, we can pause this. We're gonna turn on the battle music. Let me know, guys, if the music is too loud. I got two. I participated in two. But yeah, so we're going into this battle here. I'm gonna music a bit lower. So as you guys can see, we're playing against this pretty common Trick Room team, and from this point, in a lot of cases they would start with Bronzong. So I decided to bring out my Metagross here. If he leads with Garchomp, I can pivot into my Gliscor. But overall, Metagross doesn't really have a bad matchup. And he does lead up with the Garchomp. Probably anticipating me. Anticipating him. Don't remember what rank he was. We'll probably show it, but yeah, I go into the Gliscor here. And in a lot of cases, this Garchomp is usually not this is usually not Stealth Rock. I just decided to bring in the Gliscor anyway, and my opponent probably thinking what to do here. So on this team, because I did change the team a bit, but on this team I had Stealth Rock Gliscor. He pivots into his Scizor, and this, guys, is where things got really scary. Because, as you guys can see, I use rocks here, and the Scizor starts Swords Dancing up here, guys. And you're thinking, oh wait, I might get swept there, because don't really stop it. So I decide to Earthquake this, doing 41, and he Swords Dances again. If he's alive, for my Gliscor is going to die. But I kind of wanted to keep Gliscor because I didn't want to get obliterated by the Garchomp. So I think I decided to sacrifice my Sigilyph here. I'm just looking into his team and what Sigilyph provides. I had to choose a sec. So it's probably me secking Azumarill or Sigilyph here. Because Metagross can actually be really good against his team. Yeah, I took a bit of time thinking about this turn. What I can do, by the way, is this is round 1. I can show this too. Show it like this. So it took a bit of time. I took a lot of time. Just considering, okay, what am I going to need? Because something on my team is going to die here. But I know from there Metagross can knock him out. So I did decide to sacrifice my Sigilyph here. As he does Bullet Punch me. Sigilyph dying here. And yeah, the Scizor looking kind of scary here. Now I decided to bring in my Metagross. And go for that Hammer Arm. And guys, you're about to see the most insane thing here. So, we Hammer Arm. He doesn't Bullet Punch me. So Scizor dies. Scizor dies here. Remember, guys, I'm playing against Trick Room here. Like Metagross going insane there, man. So he goes into the Conkeldurr. And here I was thinking, I don't really have a really good switch. Because I can bring in my Gliscor. He can predict. But Flame Orb is not activated. If he's Life Orbed, I don't die to close combat. So I think I decided to stay in there. And just go for the Hammer Arm. I am locked into Hammer Arm. Cannot click anything else. But I needed to use Hammer Arm on the Scizor. Obviously, he doesn't know. He doesn't know if I'm Choice Banded or something. Because even if I wasn't banded, Scizor would most likely die from there. Or do I EV training special attack? Gloom in Hoenn. In Fortress City. Yeah, I took a bit of time as well. Like, I'm taking a lot of time here. But really considering, okay, if I weaken this Conkeldurr, things are going to be better for me. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I just decide to go with a Hammer Arm, like I mentioned. I could swap out there, but if he bulks up, it's over for me. So I decided to go for the Hammer Arm. He stays in. Clicks close combat, does that 61 to me. Now his Flame Orb activates. And yeah, from here, it was a bit of a tough decision. Because do I swap out here, right? But is he gonna predict me? Here, I decided to Hammer Arm again, and look at this, guys. Bronzong coming in. Look at how much damage we're doing here, guys. We're doing 50.6. It's not leftovers. And remember, guys, it's Bronzong on Trick Room, most likely. So this could be a slow Bronzong. I didn't want him to Trick Room for free. And if he does Trick Room here, then my Metagross is gonna outspeed everything. So I decided to Hammer Arm again. I would die to Earthquake here, but I was faster here. So I outsped Bronzong. I clicked Hammer Arm like 3 times. So I was at -3 speed from there, and I still outsped the Bronzong. With Bronzong gone, made it so much easier for me. And he still didn't get up his Trick Room. And now Conkeldurr comes back in. And I think this is the moment I decided to swap out there. So this time I did bring in my Gliscor. And he did indeed close combat into me. And from this point, guys, I made such a hard read here, guys. So I have this Gliscor in, right? He's at -1 defense. And watch me go hard into Scizor here. Anticipating the Hydreigon. Look at my mouse was pointing on the Hydreigon there. So I swap out into the Scizor here. He switches out into the Hydreigon, and this is where we reveal the tech, boys. This is where we reveal the tech. It is leftovers Hydreigon. We have nothing to worry here. We're U-turning here. Choice Scarf. Getting the U-turn damage on this Hydreigon. And now we get a pretty safe pivot into Raikou. And he nasty flooded up, guys. So I got so much value from making that play. And from this point, Aura Sphere was really free. And he decided to bring in the Garchomp. And I hit him with the Aura Sphere, which is nice. I could have HPI there too, to be fair. It probably would have been a better play. But from this point, I wasn't sure if Garchomp was scarfed. So I decided to bring in my Gliscor. And he did go for the Earthquake there. And from here, I decided to use Toxic. Yo, Tweetin, what's up? And we catch the Hydreigon there, which is really nice. Get the Toxic on him. And now he has one more attack to go. Or he's gonna drop to the Poison. And I think I went straight into Raikou again. Because Raikou can pretty much take any attack there. And he does go for Dragon Pulse. Doing 47.9, which makes me think that this was modest Hydreigon. Yeah, the Hydreigon just dropped there. And Raikou being in a really good position. He does bring in the Garchomp, so I'm really feeling the Choice Scarf on this thing. And yeah, I just bring in my Gliscor again. As he does Dragon Claw into me, doing 34. And now, this is the freest Earthquake of my life. Because even if Reuniclus comes in, I get so much damage on this. Basically, I don't think the Garchomp is a threat at this point. But I wanna make sure that we hit the Reuniclus. I want to make sure that he doesn't get free switched into Reuniclus. However, at this point, since Garchomp does die to Bullet Punch from Metagross and from Scizor, I decided to protect after Rock's damage. Just to preserve a bit of extra HP on this. And now we just go for the Earthquake. Why not protect with Gliscor there and make sure the Hydreigon dies without dealing damage? Because Hydreigon could have gone for Roost, Kosharku. If he goes for a Roost there, I would be in a knocked position. Because I don't necessarily need HP on the Raikou. I don't even need Raikou to win. But I didn't want him to Roost there for free. So yeah, we Earthquake into this, and against the Reuniclus we can Earthquake if he tries to Trick Room. Because all we need is damage on this Reuniclus. Because we have a Scizor with Bullet Punch and a Metagross with Bullet Punch in the back. So all we need is damage, and if he doesn't Trick Room, I get a free U-turn with Scizor. So we're doing 32 here. He does end up Trick Rooming here, and judging from the damage, that is max HP, max special attack. So like I mentioned, I can protect here. And I was kind of testing the waters here. But I kind of wanted to know if Gliscor could live Psychic from it. And I didn't. But I was confident enough that I could win this game. So from this point, we had to be a bit smart here though. Because this can still be an annoying threat. But remember, he Trick Roomed. Then he Psychicked. He's on the 4th turn. So I tried to Whirlpool here so that he cannot switch, but it didn't work out. And here, I decided to just go for the Paris song. I was a bit messing around in this end game with my Gliscor like that, but it would be completely fine because now I have the Paris song doing the work there, and at this point I can let Azumarill just die. I made it a bit too close. Like I was messing around in this end game, like I said. Like we could have just sacked the Azumarill against the Reuniclus. I just went for 0 chip there, and he does end up Trick Rooming. But the Paris song is still doing the work. So if he decides to knock me out here, then he has to switch on the next turn. And he doesn't. He does knock me out there, and yeah, now if he stays in, he's gonna die to if he stays in, he's gonna die to the Paris song, and otherwise I get damage off on the Conkeldurr. And like I said, I have 2 priority moves on my team. It is Close Combat Scizor. It is Close Combat Conkeldurr. He does decide to go for Toxic there. Reuniclus dies. And even after Rocks, I'm pretty sure the Conkeldurr is still going to die. But even if he doesn't die, I can just go into Metagross next and click Bullet Punch. Like, this end game was just... just a shit show. I just wanted to make sure. And we knock him out. And Conkeldurr gone. And that is round 1, guys. Like messing around so much with around so much when we got such a lead. But yeah, the big play was the scissor one. Getting the U-turn off on the Hydreigon. And he was rank 84. He was rank 84. Yeah, that was the first game. Like I said, I didn't really prepare anything for this tournament. I just brought this team, and I wasn't really planning on changing. Like the more I use this, obviously, people will find out the sets and stuff. Yeah, I was looking at it, and I was also looking at other potential winners who was going to face and who won. Just a bit curious there. There I clicked the wrong thing. And then we just queue again. I was just having a fun time. I was expecting more stall in tournaments, but I faced off against a lot of offensive teams, which is interesting. But I was expecting more stall. In the second tournament, there was definitely more stall what I was facing. But yeah, into the next game, guys. This is round 2. So round 2, and again we're playing against Hyper Offense. He has a Metagross as well. Yeah, I decided to lead up with my Scizor, Masdk. I think I've faced him a bunch of times as well. And he led up with Dragonite, and usually when people lead up with Dragonite like that, they are Draco Meteor. And I basically used Azumarill for the only thing. Because I didn't see Azumarill doing anything in this game. So I U-turn, I revealed the Choice Scarf. But I U-turn into Azumarill. And my boy went for a Flamethrower. And Azumarill taking that like a beast. And I think I'm not sure if I decide to Whirlpool here. Probably. As Metagross comes in. And this is still chip on Metagross. Because especially if this is not leftovers, then it would be really nice chip. Because in a lot of teams you see Rocky Helmet, Metagross, which can be annoying for Scizor and for my Metagross. But I didn't want to give him Stealth Rock for free at this point, so I decided to bring in my my Sigilyph here. And he does try to go for rocks here. And now I'm activating the Flame Orb. And this makes him think that I might go for Psycho Shift, right? That I might go for Psycho Shift. So he would be really afraid to bring in a physical attacker right now. Like, if he goes Hard Viva, you don't want to get burnt like that. So I decided to defog like that. Just make sure he doesn't get rocks. And again, I bring in my Azumarill on this. Because he used Flamethrower on me, but I didn't see a Life Orb. So this might be Dragon Gem. When we see Flamethrower like that. So I want to bait the Dragon Gem first. Because, like I said, I didn't see Azumarill doing much this game. It just doesn't have any damage versus him. So I decided to just go Azumarill on this. As he does drop that Draco. Azumarill taking it like a beast, because that is, guys, as you guys can see, that is Dragon Jam boosted Draco Meteor. Taking it like a champ. And here I decide to double back into the Sigilyph here. But he brought in the Gyarados. And at this point I decided to use Trick, but he brought in the Dragonite anyway. Which is a bit unfortunate that Dragonite had to come in. But he was really afraid of the Psycho Shift, and at this point, he didn't have the Dragon Gem anymore. And I couldn't afford switching into this mon every time. So I was calculating whether I could live the Draco Meteor. And when I did the calc, it did about 70%, I believe. So I knew I was going to live here, so I decided to Ice Beam. Especially since his multi-skill has been broken by the U-turn for my Scizor. Like, I couldn't continuously switch into this. Azumarill took the Dragon Gem, and that was more than enough. Like, I didn't have a lot of switch-ins for this, so at this point I decided to just go for the Ice Beam. And hopefully preserve. Because maybe my Sigilyph can heal on the Metagross, but on the other hand, I only needed Sigilyph for this Dragonite. I Ice Beam, but I was actually faster than him. So, I knock out the Dragonite. Which is insane, and now the Weavile comes in. Weavile on a lot of these teams are... on a lot of offense teams, Weavile is usually Sword Stance. So I decided to bring in my Scizor on this. And he went for the beat up. Those are 5 hits. With a Life Orb, really annoying. And at this point, I decided to just U-turn. It's on Patreon, Urkosh, if you are interested in that team. There should be a link in that video. He decides to bring in his Scizor. And I did 12.4, so I wasn't sure about this damage. Because this could have been defensive leftovers or something. Like leftover Sword Stance or something. And it was... because I didn't do a lot of damage there. So I decided to bring in my Metagross. Yo, Warrior. What's up, bro? Long time no seen. I decided to trick, because I saw the leftovers on this Scizor. I decided to trick him because I'm getting his leftovers, and I was afraid of him Sword Dancing and stuff. But he just U-turned on me. He did get a Choice Banded U-turn on me, unfortunately, and now I have to be dealing with this Garchomp. And I was a bit afraid there, because Metagross was the rocker, so this could have been either Bandit or it could have been Home Claw. But I was more afraid of the Home Claw, so I decided to go straight into my Sigilyph, which I didn't need for anything else. And he did go for the Home Claw. So here, we had to pray, guys. We had to pray for him to not get flinched there. And he was Life Orb too, and we didn't get flinched there. And we knocked out his Garchomp. So Garchomp gone, and Sigilyph doing so much work in this game. Now, Weavile comes back in. And at this point, I felt like, okay, I don't need Sigilyph that much. Scizor is a bit weakened there. So I am just going for Chip here. I'm just going for a bit of Chip. He's Life Orb. He's going to be on a timer. But then he Sword Stands up versus me, which is a bit scary. He's an Ice type. I cannot freeze him, of course. So I decided to keep Ice Beaming here. Because I already tricked, he wasn't afraid of anything, and now he decides to Icicle Spear. And here, guys, I made such a noob mistake. So, the Scizor is Choice Scarf, right? For some reason, guys, I thought I was faster than Weavile. Here. However, it was a risky play on his part as well, because Bullet Punch would kill him. But I U-turn here. And he goes for a Brick Break and knocks out my Scizor. And now I have a mountain to climb, guys. Because Scizor was so important for me in checking that Weavile. So I have to bring in my Metagross. Unfortunately, I have to go for the Bullet Punch. And I was looking. I max speed, right? Jolly. But I think Weavile is faster by 2 speed or something. And now Metagross comes in with the Rocky Helmet. I don't have Sigilyph to get rid of the rocks anymore. So this Metagross is now extremely annoying to deal with. So I basically have to use my Raikou in this game because his Garchomp is gone. Um, like I have to use Raikou to weaken his team because volt switching around can be decent, but I need damage on this Metagross. So I decided to just go for the Hammer Arm, only doing 25.1, which isn't that much. And now he decides to get up his free Stealth Rock. However, now I did decide to switch out because I need this to check. Like, I was considering it, but I need this to check the Weavile, and I couldn't take more Rocky Helmet damage. He could be packing something like Hammer Arm or Earthquake himself. So I brought in my Gliscor, and he went for the Earthquake there. And now I was afraid of him clicking I was afraid of him clicking Ice Punch here. So I was afraid of going for rocks here, so I just went for the Earthquake. And he goes into the Scizor, which works out for me. Because we know the Scizor is Choice Banded. So at this point, I decided to go for rocks here, because it's gonna pressure his Scizor. It is going to pressure his Scizor. He does U-turn into me. And this way, Weavile can only come in one time to attack. If he comes in and attacks, he cannot switch out anymore or he dies to rocks. So I basically have to survive one attack from the Weavile, which my Metagross can still do. But my opponent decided to bring in the Gyarados instead. And from this position, guys, I know Gliscor doesn't die to Ice Fang or Waterfall from an unboosted Gyarados. So I decided to go for the Toxic here. I know I have the priority Bullet Punch. I know I have Protect. And I still have my Azumarill around as well, which hopefully can live one hit here. Hopefully. I will answer your question later after this battle, Utash. So we basically had to hope that this Gyarados wasn't Substitute or Taunt, because that could completely screw us over. I go for the Toxic. I was faster. He does Dragon Dance up. And yeah, from this position, guys, all we could do is Poison Stall this guy. But I couldn't lose two Pokemon to this Gyarados. So I decided to go for Protect here. As he goes for Waterfall. I needed to have the extra Pokemon alive so it can take a hit from the Weavile. I protected on a Waterfall. Now I bring in a Azumarill. He's only at +1. Power Whip. I'm immune to Power Whip if he clicks it. And he goes for Waterfall. Azumarill! Beasting it up, guys. Living there with 3 HP. And this Gyarados taking more and more poison damage. So I tried to rest there. Obviously, he's gonna kill me there. And Gyarados taking more poison damage. But we're still not there. Like I mentioned, guys, we can only let one Pokemon die to Gyarados. If Gyarados takes away 2 Pokemon, we're gonna lose to Weavile plus Metagross. Because his Metagross has too much HP. So from this position, guys, I had 2 options here. Well, the first thing I have to do, I have to bring in my Gliscor and use Protect. Because if I let my Gliscor die here, I'm gonna lose to the combination Weavile, Metagross, Scizor. Because Scizor is still really healthy. So I don't really kill him with anything, and he can throw off a Choice Banded U-turn on me. Like, from there, I decided to bring in my Gliscor. We have to Protect here to let the poison do its work. Like, a really scary position for us to be in. It would have been really nice if we had Scizor here. But I was so dumb with my Scizor that it just died. And okay, so 2 options. We go for the double Protect here. But I came up with something else. Because if you look at his team, if Weavile dies, Gliscor is gonna 1v1 the Scizor and the Metagross. He's gonna 1v2 them. However, I cannot go into Metagross because Metagross needs to be there for the Weavile. So I decided to bring in my Raikou if Raikou dies, then I still have a chance. Because like I said, Gliscor is going to beat Weavile, Metagross and Scizor. And I just have to sec Metagross on the Weavile. Like, Weavile already showed Beat Up. He already showed Icicle Spear. And he showed Brick Break with Sword Stand. So Weavile doesn't have Ice Shard. So it doesn't matter how much HP my Metagross has. So I bring in my Raikou here. And I expected Raikou to die. But Raikou beasting it up. And living there with 9 HP. Gyarados going down. Gyarados going down here. So if he brings in Weavile, Weavile's going to die from Life Orb. Well, he can come in one time and he's gonna die to Life Orb. So he has to bring in... He has to bring in the Scizor. Yo, Air Killer, what's up, brother? Mega Jolteon. Indeed. Indeed. So Scizor does end up coming in. I don't have the luxury of switching out here. Because if I switch into... Remember guys, this Scizor is Joy's Bandit. This Scizor is Joy's Bandit now. He has Rocks up. I decided to go for Thunderbolt. And he didn't Bullet Punch me. So now, Scizor going for the defog. But he's locked in, guys. Scizor is locked into defog. So suddenly, the game looks a bit better for me. And from this position, I had two options. I could Volt Switch here. But Volt Switch is gonna give me an unfavorable position anyway. Because if I Volt Switch into Gliscor, Weavile comes in. If I Volt Switch into Metagross, his Metagross comes in. So I think from this position, I decided to just Thunderbolt here. And I get the crit there. Really lucky. Really lucky. Nah, I'm kidding. So, and now it's all about cleaning up this endgame. So Weavile comes in. There's no rocks anymore. So I cannot allow this Weavile. Obviously, I have to attack this Weavile. So I just also he Brick Breaks here. And there's only 2 bonds left. So I'm outside of Brick Break range. Because I already calked it. Brick Break is not going to do enough to me. And his Metagross is at 47. His Metagross is at 47. And I was checking how much did I do with Hammer Arm against his Metagross. I did 25.1. So Hammer Arm would be a 2-hit KO here. Brick Break doesn't kill me. It's all about planning out this endgame. So the worst play for me would be to Bullet Punch here. Because if Metagross comes in, I lose. Basically. Because I take Rocky Helmet damage. And then I won't be able to 2-hit KO his Metagross. And I know we live Brick Break. So the most logical choice here would be to use Hammer Arm. He does end up swapping. And he goes into his Metagross. And indeed, that is looking like a 2-hit KO. I did 24.1. And from this position, it's over. I just go into Gliscor. It doesn't matter if he goes Weavile. It doesn't matter if he goes Weavile. Plus, because Metagross at this point will kill his Metagross. And he does Earthquake into me. And all I need to do is click Earthquake here. Because if I kill Metagross, I Bullet Punch the Weavile. But he goes hard Weavile instead. And we Earthquake into him. He probably wasn't hoping that I would use Rocks. Would be an extreme throw. And all he has left is his Metagross, which I kill with my Metagross and with my Gliscor. So this game became really difficult when this game became really difficult when my Scizor died because I thought I was faster than the Weavile. And then he just brick breaks me. Him staying in and brick breaking like that as well, because I could have bullet punched him, but yeah, guys, I was checking out who could be potential opponents. So, and now we're in the third round. I'm basically looking at potential opponents. So, Boy Next Door is something I could fit. I wanted to see if he was playing Stall, and of course that team. And I actually beat that team another time, which is hilarious with this team. But yeah, I'm literally, guys, I'm literally playing. I'm literally bringing a troll team to this tournament. Like to see, like all these players are gonna bring tryhard teams, and there I am trolling with an Azumarill and a Choice Scarf Scissor. Yeah, I was just checking out a few opponents, see what they were playing. Like some names I remember. Yeah, you can use the season 13 team. Not much has changed aside from adding the dogs, but the team can still work. It's all about concept, guys. Oh my god, tweeted. I tweet. Damn, brother. So many donations by our boy Tweetin, guys. Hey, can we get some hearts for our boy Tweetin? Thank you, man. Thank you for the financial support, brother. Like, like you guys know, this is literally my job right now. This is literally my job aside from my studies. Like, I'm basically unemployed, or you can say I'm self-employed. So yeah, all this kind of support, guys, amazing. Even if it's 1 cent, even if you guys donate 1 cent, it's really helpful to me. I was checking out a few things here. I guess I was checking out the rank of just to show on stream. Yeah, that guy was ranked 33. We just played. Yo, Art Attack, what's up, bro? We just subscribed. I'm an entrepreneur. We're cooking, guys. We're cooking. Maybe I can fast forward it a bit. So here I'm queuing up. Well, you can. Like EV training, just that's why I got the link, the link item. Yeah, this is the third round, guys. So let's do. Oh, we didn't get an opponent there. Yeah, we had to wait a bit, I guess. So we had to wait a bit. So this is round 3. And again, Suicune offense, guys. Do you think about a run to top 1 someday? I don't think hitting rank 1 is about skill. It's about the amount of games you're going to play. And it's not time I want to invest. Like, I still have a girlfriend, guys. I still have other... I still want to go to the gym every day. And we're playing against Amakog in round 3. But yeah, the people who play for rank 1 are built different. They can't play so many games. I like respect for them being able to put in the amount of games like that, but I can't. I was looking at his rank. He was rank 50. Pretty average win rate. So I was going into this game. We're turning on this guy. Garchomp looked like the only potential rocker on his team. So I was looking into rocks. I brought him a Sigalip like this, as he did go for the flamethrower, and it's making me think it would have been hilarious if he burnt me, but you might think, wait, did he just burn me with the flamethrower? But here I was skulking. Am I going to die to Draco Meteor? That's what I wanted to know, but he wasn't life orbed. So without the life orb, I felt pretty confident that I wouldn't die to Draco Meteor. I was calking it as well. Like, obviously I'm not clicking anything, so I'm calking it there. I was looking at my HP, and the play I would most likely make here is just to go for Ice Beam, as he does go for rocks, and that is basically a dead Garchomp. That one almost had 2,000 games. If you actually look at the leaderboard, guys, you usually see me with the least amount of games. I'm one of the ones that has the least amount of games always, because I'm not playing that much. Now Starmie coming in. And here I was thinking, okay, how do I play around this? Because I don't have a good switch into this. Because I'm literally using an Azumarill, guys. But I cannot afford to bring in Scizor and him clicking Surf or something, especially with him being analytic. So maybe I thought maybe I just bring in the Metagross and see what he's going to do. Because I felt like Raikou was so good versus him that if I switch it into a Hydro Pump, it would be really bad. So I just brought him the Azumarill, and he did go for Thunderbolt. He did go for the Thunderbolt there, and at that point, it is not a kill from here. Yo, Saluran. But yeah, playing around this Starmie was really annoying, and now I brought in a Raikou, and praying to God that he doesn't go for something like Psychic or a Water move. And luckily for me, he did go for the Thunderbolt. And now we are in a power position. Unfortunately, he crit us there, which is annoying because every bit of damage is going to matter. And from this position, I decided to just go for the Thunderbolt because it's going to hit everything really well. And he went hard Gallade into me. So Gallade taking 51, which was a bit sus. But this guy can still be Choice Scarfed. So I didn't want to take that damage with Raikou. So I had to play around this. And I think I decided to just bring in my Gliscor, because I need my Sigalip for the Dragonite. And hopefully him going for the Sacred Sword would be nice. He does go for the Sacred Sword, doing 27.3, which is pretty normal damage, assuming that he is Choice Scarf now. And from this position, I really wanted to make a power play, because I thought about him bringing in the Starmie, and I wanted to bring in my Scizor like that. But losing Scizor, like, Scizor is the one guaranteed way of removing the Starmie out of the equation. But I decided to do it anyway, and we did see Starmie coming in, so we called it correctly here. And Gallade switched out first, so we now know that Gallade is Scarfed. 100%. So we're gonna U-turn here. I already revealed the Choice Scarf in the beginning. When facing the Garchomp. But at this point, I don't need to click Pursuit because I have Raikou in the back. So if he decides to switch out here, I get a Volt Switch because he doesn't have a Ground type anymore. He's basically stuck in the Vortex here. And yeah, one of his most likely plays would be to bring in his Scizor, which is taking a lot, reveals to me that he is an offensive Scizor. And I decided to bring in the Sigilyph now. And he must be afraid of the Psycho Shift from here. And I really wanted to get the defog off, because it's gonna aid my Raikou in this game. Like, sure, he can U-turn on me, but Sigilyph is faster, and he does indeed switch out, being afraid of the Psycho Shift. While he could have U-turned there. And I get off my defog, his Garchomp is gone. He doesn't have a Stealth Rocker. So now I don't have to be dealing with rocks this game. And the reason I wanted to keep Azumarill still alive is because he has that Suicune. Azumarill would be really nice into the Suicune. So I didn't really want to lose my Azumarill. But if I switch in Raikou, and because Raikou still has the Speed tie with the Starmie, so if I take that damage, it would be really bad. So I think from here, I decided to just... It's a tough choice. Like, if I bring in Azumarill, I might struggle against Suicune later. But Metagross would be nice into the Dragonite. On the other hand, if I keep Sigilyph alive, I do have the Ice Beam. So I did decide to bring in the Metagross now. Maybe he goes for Ice Beam, and that would be the best case for me. Which he does indeed do. And from here, I felt like Stealth Rock... well, I actually didn't have rocks this time. So I just went for the Zen Headbutt there. It would do a lot of damage to anything. He goes for Skull, and basically Freak did not get burned there. He doesn't burn me, and I get 54.1% damage on this Starmie. And at this point, I can just let go of my Metagross. And here's where I made a misplay, guys. I go into the Scizor. But first, I completely forgot that I had Pursuit here. I clicked U-turn immediately. However, the play should have been going for the Pursuit. On the other hand, though, what I had in my mind as well, if I Pursuit, his Dragonite can set up on me, which would be scary too. But I could have definitely gone for the Pursuit, because switching into the Starmie is really annoying as well. Because my Glide score was low as well. So it's debatable, but at the time I was probably most afraid of him sweeping with Dragonite. I get off the U-turn here. And here, this guys is when you... This is how you should not do it, guys. Because I was freaking lazy. I should calculate if Thunderbolt knocks out the Raikou. But I didn't calculate because I was just too lazy. I think I was... At the time I was talking with my girlfriend as well. I clicked Volt Switch. But if you look at the Volt Switch damage, guys. Like, I wasn't even calking here. But if you look at the Volt Switch damage, then you're gonna find out that Thunderbolt would have killed. And we already did damage on him with U-turn. So we could have known that he was max speed, max attack. So if I was able to just Thunderbolt here and knock him out, I wouldn't have to take damage on anything else. But now he's taking a lot of time to think here. Like, I think that would be the biggest mistake in this game for me. Not going for the Thunderbolt there. By basically not calking here. Because I Volt Switch, I do 48.2. So So if I Thunderbolted him, look at his HP. He would have dropped. He would have died if I Thunderbolted, and I would have gotten leftovers recovery. But now I'm going to take damage here. I decided to just go into my Scizor. Into my Gliscor, because he could close combat into me. And he actually went for Acrobatics. Doesn't end up killing me. And it's a bit of an awkward position here, because Acrobatics is usually Swords Dance. So if I protect on Swords Dance, I can actually lose this game. Well, I still have my Scizor in the back though. But how I should have played this situation, guys. How I should have played that situation. I'm going to go a bit back here. How I should have played this situation. Or how, not how I should, but how I could have played the situation is by going into my own Scizor here. Because at this position, it's either Bullet Punch or it's Acrobatics. It's Bullet Punch or it's Sword Dance. It is very unlikely that he Acrobatics here, because if I stay in, it doesn't gain him anything. I could have gone into my Scizor here on a Bullet and then Bullet him back, but then I would be locked into Bullet. But I was more afraid of him Swords Dancing here, even though I could Revenge Kill him. But if he Swords Dances here, he gets more damage on my Scizor. So from this position, I decided to bring in my Raikou, because I like the positioning with Raikou. And I decided to go for the Thunderbolt here. Well, the reason I like Thunderbolt over Volt Switch here is because I have to bring in something that might be unfavorable, while Raikou still has a really good matchup against his team. And he'll basically be forced to bring in his Sigilyph. But he cannot click Sacred Sword freely, because I do have the Sigilyph in the back. So Gallade does end up coming in here. And now, it is still an awkward position for me, guys. Because I am going to lose a Mon here if I call it incorrectly. With the Sigilyph. But I cannot go hard Scizor. And the reason I wanted to go this route here is because if he clicks Sacred Sword, I have a Sigilyph. But he goes into the Starmie, and this works out amazingly. Because I had Sigilyph, which 4 times resists Sacred Sword. But that's why I brought in my Scizor. Because Scizor could take Leaf Blade, Night Slash, Ice Punch, or Psycho Cut. And then I would be in a power position. But this is the best case scenario, because now I have Scizor in versus the Starmie. I'm not going to pursue there, because like I said, the Dragon Knight can become really scary if I lock myself into pursuit and kill this. So again, I'm just U-turning here. The only thing he can really bring in, things he can bring in are Suicune and Dragonite. If he brings in Dragonite, I break the multi-skill. And he does go into Suicune, and this allows me to bring in the Raikou. I'm doing 28, which reveals to me that he's most likely is a Bold Nature. Well, it could be Timid actually. But yeah, from this position, again, I'm firing off a Thunderbolt, and I'm praying to God that he doesn't burn me, because that can be annoying into the Starmie. But of course, it's a Suicune, guys. And Suicune does Suicune things, and he does burn me. Which is really bad, because now I'm not getting the necessary leftovers recovery, which means that Dragonite can knock me out with extreme speed. So I decide to Volt Switch here, because I don't want to be in a position where I have to predict Gallade again. So I'm Volt Switching here. And we're going to be bringing in our Scizor. Because Scizor can Bullet Punch the Gallade. And it can U-turn against Starmie, and it can U-turn against Dragonite. And he does go into the Dragonite. So now, I'm going for the U-turn to break the multi-skill. I'm doing just enough so that if he's leftovers, that he won't be at full. And I have to go directly into the Sigilyph, unfortunately. Because if he Dragon Dances here and I bring in Azumarill, he can Dragon Dance again. And things are going to be really scary. And the annoying thing with the burn is now that I might die to extreme speed. So I bring this in. He does Dragon Dance into me. And I'm looking at his HP. Does he get leftovers? No leftovers. So this can be Dragon Jam. So I decided to go into Azumarill. Since the Suicunu's gone. He does Dragon Claw me. And no Dragon Jam activated. So this might be Lumberry. Makes me feel a bit safer. I wanted to make sure that he didn't have to Dragon Jam. So we're bringing the Sigilyph again. And we should be able to live a Dragon Claw and just retaliate with Ice Beam. If we don't kill, we can use Bullet Punch. And he does 64. Sigilyph living this. Getting off the Ice Beam. And his Dragonite dropping there. And now our whole team is going to be weak to Sacred Sword. But this is where the Scissor comes in, guys. So here I'm thinking, maybe we can live Sacred Sword. We 4 times resist this. But he Sacred Swords and he knocks me out. And now we basically have to pray here that Bullet Punch is going to be enough to knock out the Gallade. Starmie got really low from the Bullet Punch. So he decides to stay in and we knock out the Gallade. And now Starmie comes in. And guys, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am locked into Bullet Punch here. So there are a few scenarios here. We can Bullet Punch, but that might not 2-hit KO. So I have to bring in Raikou. But if he goes for the Rapid Spin, he's gonna outspeed Raikou. But I know from this amount of HP, because we saw that he wasn't Life Warped, that we are not dying to Surf from here. So I knew, as long as he doesn't crit me here, he cannot win this game. Doesn't matter if he Rapid Spins here. So I go into the Raikou. Because we don't know if he has Recover. I go into the Raikou and does he Rapid Spin on us? He does Rapid Spin against me. And again, that burn really holding me back because I am actually going to die to Scald now. If I wasn't burnt, then I would have had enough leftovers recovery to live Scald here. But because of that burn, I don't get to live that. And now I'm gonna be bringing in the Scissor. And I know, against an offensive Starmie, even if he burns me with Scald, we should be able to knock him out with U-turn. But don't crit us. Come on. Don't crit us. He scalds us. No crit, but he gets the burn. But is it enough? It is enough. So, we barely scraped by that game. But yeah, us switching into Starmie, guys, like, come on. Us switching into Starmie is just horrible. With that team. Like, a lot of Starmies running Thunderbolt these days as well. What if he had HP Fire? Well, that's the thing, New Groho. We already saw that he had Thunderbolt. We already saw that he had Ice Beam. It looked like his only Rapid Spin on the team. He had used it with a Dragonite as well. And he has Scald. So, unless he didn't have Rapid Spin, then yeah, it's just fucked anyway. But if he had HP Fire, then I couldn't win that anyway, because even if I stayed in, I wouldn't kill him. He would knock me out with Hidden Power Fire, and then I have to Speed Die still with my Raikou. And now I'm just looking at potential opponents. That's Trick Room team again. It is not common seeing HP Fire on Starmie. I was just spectating that a bit. But I was looking at this. So this Breloom gets flamethrowered. And he goes for a Rock Tube and misses. I saw that and I was just, okay, I'm getting out of here. Like that is one of the worst turn ones you can get there. Like the Dragon Knight breaking his own multi-skill with that Life Orb and then missing the Rock Tomb, which would have killed the guy. I was joining the West one later as well with this team. But yeah, the more you play this, the more people are going to know. Like, if they know you have a Choice Scarf Scizor, for example. The surprise is a bit gone if they know about the Azumarill as well. And I was looking at the prize pool, so I only had to get one more win to get a guaranteed prize there. I'm gonna skip it ahead though. That's not. Oh yeah, I was a bit looking at that game, Brumoso, because one of these were going to be my opponent, I believe. I don't know. I don't think I was paying much attention to this game, but I was just killing time. And let's just go into that game, guys, because I kind of want to end the stream here. So round 4, I'm gonna open this up. So we're just going straight into this game. So we see Tyranitar, Excadrill, Gambi, Sandrush. We do see a Suicune there, and is only Ice type resist on the team, so it can be a Bold Nature. He has an Amoonguss, he has a Skarmory, and there's a Conkeldurr too. Well, my opponent leads off with the Suicune here. And I lead off with the Scizor. And I was looking at his rank. He was rank 11. Okay, win right then. I U-turn on the first turn. I do 22, so I know this guy has a Bold Nature. So this is a defensive Suicune. And I don't want Raikou to get Scald burned here, because Scald is most likely coming my way. So I decided to bring in the Azumarill here. He does Scald into me. And here, I just went for the Whirlpool. Because it doesn't matter if he clicks Substitute on me, I can still use Parasong. So we just Whirlpool here. And he clicks Calm Mind, and I got really excited here. I got really excited. So I Whirlpool into him. Because now we trapped him, right? Getting off that chip. I get off my Parasong and he roars me out. So that was a bit of an anticlimax there. Roars me into the Sigilyph, and this is where everything went south, guys. So I activate my Flame Orb. And here I was like, okay, I'm just gonna trick here. Because if Tyranitar comes in, I burn him. If Conkeldurr comes in and he's Flame Orb, then we're just trading Flame Orb, so then not much is going to happen, which is still not a bad scenario. And if he's leftovers, I'm getting leftovers. So I decided to trick, but I was more afraid of Tyranitar coming in here. And I also didn't really want to switch at this position because the Suicune was at +1. Didn't want to mess around with him. So I decided to trick here. He brings in the Conkeldurr, and I was like, okay, if I get a Flame Orb, whatever. However, guys, I get completely cut because he had an Assault Gear. Now my Sigilyph is completely useless. I cannot use Roost, I cannot use Defog, I cannot use Trick. I can only click Ice Beam. And I gave this guy a Flame Orb now as well. Because I could have easily walled an Assault Vest Conkeldurr. So here I'm thinking, oh no, what am I gonna do here? Am I gonna bring in Metagross? I did bring in the Metagross now. And he did go for the Ice Punch, and it did so much to me, man. It's the burn on him, and from this position, I was a bit afraid there to go for Trick, because I get the Flame Orb back if I try to Trick here. Because I wasn't sure if he wanted to stay in here. Skarmory is really likely as well, but if he stays in here, he can blow back my Metagross, and I basically cook myself. Because if I trick him a Choice Band, he's gonna be Guts boosted Choice Band Conkeldurr. And if I use something like Hammer Arm, he can Drain Punch everything back. So I decided to just go for the Zen. And he does go into the Skarmory, which has Rocky Helmet. And this game going completely south for me. We did get damage on him though. I have to go straight into the Raikou. As he goes for rocks. And remember guys, I cannot defog anymore. I cannot defog anymore with Sigilyph. So I Volt Switch out here. It goes into Amoonguss. And I'm not sure, yo Kabumui, I'm not sure if I bring in my Metagross here. I go into my Gliscor. And we're obviously going to trade rocks there. And it is Black Sludge Amoonguss, which is annoying for Raikou. Because now Raikou has to break through the Tyranitar and has to do something against the Amoonguss. And from this position, he brings in the Conkeldurr. And this really puts me in such an annoying position. I decide to protect here just to scout what he's going to do. He already revealed Ice Punch to us. But he goes for Drain Punch, which makes it really scary to stay in there, because obviously he's gonna get a Guts boosted Ice Punch here. So at this point I decided, okay, Sigilyph is completely useless. Let's just bring him in. If he clicks Ice Punch here, so be it. He does click Ice Punch. It only does 68. So if I never burnt this guy, Sigilyph would have completely walled this guy. And here, I just go for the Ice Beam. I know Tyranitar can likely come in here, but I need chip on this Tyranitar for Raikou to do something, because Raikou is going to be the win condition in this game. I go for the Ice Beam, and I get one of the luckiest freezes in the game. So this puts me back into the game. Literally this. He tried to use Pursuit against me, but he was still frozen solid. Now I get in my Scizor. And now we can start making plays of our own. So I decide to just U-turn here. If Skarmory comes in, we now have Raikou available to us. And he actually goes Suicune instead. So I'm trying to take this game back. I'm trying to take this game back. U-turn. And we're bringing in our Raikou. And from this position, I'm thinking, okay, I can kill Suicune with Thunderbolt, obviously, but there's still that Excadrill lurking in the back. He has to stand up. If I use an Electric type on Excadrill, that can be really scary if he Sword Dance. So I decided to just go for the Aura Sphere here, because I don't die to Scald. The worst case would be if he clicks Scald and burns me. But otherwise he clicks Rest, but I can always kill this guy later. But I really didn't want him to go Excadrill here. And make use of the sun. So I was really debating, are we going to try to hit Excadrill here? And I'd go for Aura Sphere. He switches into Excadrill, and we get the super effective hit off, which is really, really nice for us. And yeah, no leftovers on Excadrill as well, so this is looking really good here. So this can still be Life Orb, but we are going to need Jolteon to win this game. Conkeldurr doesn't have Assault Vest anymore, so Raikou is going to do more damage to him. And my Gliscor's Toxic Orb is activated. I cannot die from Film, so I decided to bring in Gliscor here. He went for the Earthquake. And here I was thinking, okay, the Sandstorm just ended. The Sandstorm just ended. What are his likely plays? He might bring in the Skarmory. I was considering bringing in the Raikou, but I already got so much damage on his Excadrill, and I didn't want to give him a free Rapid Spin either by switching out. So I decided to go for the Earthquake, and thank God we didn't bring in a Raikou, because we would have looked so stupid there. Now we knock out Excadrill, and Excadrill dies. We're 1 mana up. Tyranitar frozen. So right now the game is not looking too bad for us. Not anymore. Even though our Sigilyph is completely useless. Like from this position we should be able to close out this game. Now Suicune comes in. And I think I go directly into my Raikou here. But, well, I could go with Azumarill too. But it depends. Because he showed Roar to me, so he most likely has Rest. So he's probably going for the Rest here. If he doesn't, Raikou is staying, the Suicune is staying low. And I want to keep up the pressure on him. So he does use Rest versus us. So now Suicune has 2 guaranteed sleep turns. We know he doesn't have Sleep Talk because he used Roar against us. And from this position, I Volt Switch because Amoonguss is still around. I Volt Switch into him. And here I tried to take the game by the hand there by bringing in the Metagross. And by going for Trick Air. If we can trick Amoonguss, I know we're getting a Black Sludge, but then dealing with Amoonguss is going to be so much easier. And if he brings in Skarmory, that would be really helpful as well. However, he brought in the Suicune, which seems really good for us because we're getting leftovers. But Suicune is not a threat. Is not a threat to our team. However, his Suicune is basically useless now. And from this position, I just went for the Zen. But perhaps I should have just gone for the Hammer Arm here. Because he does end up bringing in the Skarmory. And yeah, we go for Zen. And here's the problem with this team, guys. Because this team kind of struggles against a Skarmory with Rocky Helmet as something that can take electric type attack. So I bring in a Raikou here. He's going to roost it up. But remember the Assault Vest, guys. On my Sigilyph, I cannot defog. So he can basically switch between Amoonguss and Skarmory. So I decide to catch the Amoonguss with HP Ice here, see how much we do. And we are only doing 27, which he's going to heal back up, especially with Black Sludge. And from this position here, I need to bait the Spore on something. So I decided to Volt Switch out there. So I Volt Switch out there. He stays in. And And I go into Azumarill, just in case he has something like Hidden Power Fire, trying to hit Scizor. But he uses Clear Smog. And from here, I decided to just go for the Whirlpool. Like I would trap something. As long as we connect there, we will chip something. And he does go into the Conkeldurr. So basically burn plus Whirlpool plus plus the Whirlpool effect. So Conkeldurr going to be really low here. We're going to take the damage on him. And he's below 50, so Conkeldurr is really low. And at this point, like I said, Sigilyph pretty useless in this game, since I cannot use Roost. Read, and he does click Ice Punch on me. Would have been insane if we stayed in. So we got a lot of chip on this Conkeldurr, and I decided to bring in the Metagross. And from here, I think I just went for the Hammer Arm. Conkeldurr is now in range of my Raikou. Like I said, we're trying to set up this game to win with Raikou. So Skarmory coming in here. We're doing 37.2, but that's a crit. And I lower my speed, so here I was thinking, okay, now I can spam Hammer Arm if he roosts. I will do super effective damage. However, the damage I did with Metagross was a bit disappointing. I'm doing 51.2 on a super effective Hammer Arm. But yeah, I have to be dealing with that Rocky Helmet as well. And I might need this for the Amoonguss too. So I couldn't keep this up. Had to bring in my Raikou again. Like, I was really struggling against this Skarmory Amoonguss core just because I couldn't make use of my Sigilyph in this game. Because of that Assault Gear, guys. So now I Volt Switch as he goes Amoonguss. If I can either kill Skarmory or Amoonguss, I can win this game. But him being able to switch around this, and yeah, like I bring in my Scizor, but look at this. I'm taking rocks damage. And I tried to U-turn here, but now I'm gonna take Rocky Helmet damage. See how much that Assault Vest trick did to me? So I'm basically getting stalled down here. So I need to come up with something. Because now I keep taking rocks damage and such, which in a long battle, I won't win. Because Amoonguss has Regenerator. So I am always gonna lose out on it. So I'm just trying to chip the Skarmory a bit. I get a crit there. And now I try to bring in the Azumarill again. Trying to force something with the Whirlpool again. Now Tyranitar comes in. And this is, guys, where I completely threw away the game. So I hit him with the Whirlpool, guys. I get that extra passive damage on him. And here I was like, do I switch? Do I not switch? But we should always assume that he's going to Thaw. So my play should have been going into the Gliscor here. But I stayed in. And this is why I hate stuff like Freeze and Sleep. Because here I was thinking, okay. I just need 2 more turns on this. I just need 2 more turns on this and then we can do it. I go for the Whirlpool, and he thaws immediately, goes for the Crunch, and that is Choice Bandit there. And now my Azumarill basically dead. My Azumarill basically dead. Because I cannot defog. And Azumarill is slower than his whole team. So, and me losing Azumarill now means that I don't have good ways of dealing with the Amoonguss. Like, I should have, after the Whirlpool, I should have just brought in my Gliscor. But now I go into the Scizor. And I use him, but yeah, he's probably gonna bring in the Skarmory again. The Tyranitar is going to die basically to everything on my team. And Tyranitar does end up staying in. And now I have to somehow try to win this game with my Raikou. But yeah, him thawing there and hitting me with Crunch really changed the tide of this game. Because up till then, it still looked pretty okay. But now, me killing Amoonguss is so freaking difficult. I'm bringing in the Gliscor. Because then he cannot go Conkeldurr. Because Conkeldurr is going to die to Earthquake. And Amoonguss doesn't do much to me either. He can use Suicune here to burn a Sleep turn. But yeah, him thawing there, obviously me getting the freeze was really fortunate for me. But him thawing there really screwed me over. He brought in the Skarmory against me. So I decided to just go into Raikou here. Just because he might need to roost there. He wants to keep this healthy. And all I'm thinking, okay, my way of winning here is by chipping down this Amoonguss. So I'm gonna go for HP Ice again. I need to get extra hits on this Amoonguss. I'm Volt switching again. I bring in the Metagross. I have a Gliscor. I'm trying to get pressure on the Skarmory. But now Amoonguss cannot use a Spore on my Raikou. Amoonguss cannot use Spore against my Raikou. So next time we can kind of spam attacks against him. I'm gonna bring in my Gliscor now. Like I said, if I had Sigilyph here, guys, this game would have been so easy. But not having... but getting the Assault Vest. Like, that really cost me so much, that game. And I just Earthquake here. I'm gonna force out the Amoonguss. And here against the Skarmory, I think I just spam Stealth Rock. Or whatever. Basically not switching because I cannot afford to get Roared on my Raikou switch or get Brave Birded there. Because that would be extra damage. So we're a bit in it. We are a bit in a stalemate here. Because I cannot really switch out here. Like, my other mounts are going to take too much from Brave Bird. And getting roared into something else is not gonna be nice either. So I'm kind of just staying in here, just to stay in. And maybe stall out this Skarmory, because every time Skarmory clicks Brave Bird, he's gonna lose HP. And he used another roost, basically trying to get rid of all the roosts on Skarmory. As he now spams rocks. And I'm spamming rocks alongside it now. I have a lot of rocks PP. Like, he doesn't have other recovery than Roost, so trying to get him out of all his Roosts. Maybe stall out a few Brave Birds too along the way. And now we see Suicune coming in. Which tells me that the Skarmory doesn't have Roar. So we know there's a guaranteed sleep turn on the Suicune. And Amoonguss comes in. We Thunderbolt there because Suicune is choice banded. We actually HP Ice actually, anticipating Amoonguss. And remember, here guys, I decided to just muscle through Amoonguss here. Reason is because he cannot click Spore against me. And hopefully he wouldn't do too much damage. But he uses Grass Knot, and that actually does so much damage to me. I don't know if I should have clicked Thunderbolt there, in case he wanted to switch out here. But I wouldn't die to the Grass Knot there. Maybe I should have Thunderbolted here. But I'm still getting leftovers recovery. Because to win this game, I need to get past Amoonguss. Then Raikou can win this game. And he actually went into the Conkeldurr, which was living this HP Ice. And this is where everything kind of went south. Because now I have to predict. Are we going to predict a Mach Punch, or is he going to click Ice Punch on me? If I called this correctly, we could have actually won this game. The reason is because he cannot kill Gliscor that easily. Like, I was thinking, do I bring in the Metagross on this Sec Metagross, but then he can put Raikou asleep? But I think Metagross should have been my play instead of going into the Gliscor and getting Ice Punch there, because this was basically GG. Like, he's gonna die to the burn now. That crit did not matter. But me losing Gliscor now, because Gliscor was one of the monsters that could still 1v1 the Amoonguss. But now I kind of had to play around this bullshit. Because at this point, I have to get past an Amoonguss, which is not really going to work if he has a Skarmory as well. He actually went into Skarmory first, which ends up working out for me. I do Thunderbolt here as he goes Amoonguss. Maybe I should have HP Ice there, hoping. But I get a pretty good hit on this Amoonguss. And I think I might. I decided to Volt Switch here because he would get 2-hit KO'd by Thunderbolt here. He would get 2-hit KO'd by Thunderbolt. So my idea here, guys. My idea here was Volt Switching, because he would get 2-hit KO'd by HP Ice, and I don't die to Grass Knot. So I tried to Volt Switch into Scizor, catch the Grass Knot, and then use Pursuit on this Amoonguss. However, if I click HP Ice here, he would have been in so much trouble. But no, that guy clicked Hidden Power Fire in that situation. I wouldn't die to Grass Knot from there. He gets 2-hit KO'd by Hidden Power Ice. And I have to be dealing with this bullshit, man. Like, some crazy calls, though. And now with Raikou taking that damage, like Raikou basically taking the Stealth Rock damage, I'm gonna die to Grass Knot from there. So I have to rely on a crit. If he's smart, he's gonna switch out versus me. So, like a few scenarios, which... Because I could have still won this game, even after that Stupid trick. But me letting Azumarill die and me letting Gliscor die, me letting Azumarill and Gliscor die basically sealed the game for him. Because I couldn't break past Skarmory Among Us without the support of the others. So I just hidden Power Rise here. I'm not gonna predict Suicune here, just for the reason that I have to play off him choking. I have to play off him choking. So I HP Ice here. Getting leftovers. And here I try to hit him Power Rise again, trying to catch the Among Us. But he stayed in against me. And then I figured, okay, he's Choice Bandit. He probably wants to let this die so he can get an Among Us for free. But then he makes a crazy play. I don't agree with this play he's about to make here. Like, this is what we call a choke. Because honestly, I should be playing off him choking. But if I click HP Ice here, guys, look at his HP. With rocks, I have the potential to 2-hit KO there. And then he could actually lose. Like, he was way better off, guys. He was way better off just going for a Scald there and let Suicune die than doing this. Because if I HP Ice there, I have the potential to maybe 2-hit KO with a crit or something. I would definitely 3-hit KO. But I have the rocks damage adding to it. He goes for Grass Knot now. Obviously, if I had Calm Mind, I could have maybe done something. But that would have been a better end game. But then I would have never hit the Excadrill like that. Yeah, and from here, he's just gonna swap out again. And then I just win. So perhaps I should have just double HP Iced and play off him choking, because that was never a way I was going to win that otherwise. Because I'm not getting enough leftovers recovery here. So that was basically it. Yeah, really. Like, but the main point, me getting the, like, the moment Sigilyph got useless, this matchup became insanely difficult. And I got fortunate with the freeze. But then, yeah, Azumarill and Gliscor dying, like I said. Because even if I crit him here, I'm not gonna kill. So from this position, I think I decide to Volt Switch here. Trying to get a crit with Volt Switch. Trying to get a crit with Volt Switch. And then hoping that he would try to knock out Metagross, or Metagross maybe waking up or something. Maybe what we could have tried as well was giving the Skarmory leftovers. He actually killed us with Grass Knot. But yeah, with the rocks, me never been able to remove the rocks. Just made this really difficult, and yeah, I couldn't break past the Among Us Skarmory core due to what happened against my Sigilyph. But if I had Azumarill in the end game, it probably would have been easier. Like, having Azumarill here would basically mean that I can easily win, especially with Skarmory running out of a lot of roosts, staying healthy. I think that's the biggest one, me losing Azumarill. Like, I should have brought in the Gliscor against that Tar. But I was just hoping. I was relying on RNG in that situation by keeping hoping that he stays frozen. And then he knocks me out and I lost there. But I think we should have won this. This is a game I felt like we should have won. We should have. No, that's should, but we could have won. And it's mainly me playing a bit differently. Like I mentioned, guys, not letting Azumarill die to this. Basically, not staying in like this. Like I could have run in the Gliscor. There's no way he's clicking Ice Punch here on me, and Gliscor doesn't die to the other moves. If he stays frozen, that's still cool. He comes in on rocks later. But I need like if I had Azumarill, Amoonguss is never gonna get a kill because I always switch it into him. And versus the Raikou, versus Skarmory, his Skarmory is never killing my Gliscor in return. His Skarmory is also never killing my Azumarill. Like I think the biggest point there was giving him my Azumarill. Like Azumarill could have carried us throughout this game, with Conkeldurr being that low, with Suicune being choice banded. So I think the biggest point was letting Azumarill die. If we didn't do this, then I think we had a pretty good shot at winning this game. But yeah, those are the games. So I unfortunately lost in the 4th round there. But overall, we had quite some fun with this team though. Like, come on guys, I'm bringing in a Azumarill and a Sigilyph. Like, and it put in some work as well, guys. The team put in some work. But yeah, the moment you're gonna face those stall guys, well, the Sigilyph actually really good into stall. But yeah, certain matchups are really unfavorable. But I don't think this matchup was necessarily bad for us. Like I said, the main point was giving Azumarill, and then even giving him the Gliscor, because Gliscor could have still 1v1 to Amoonguss and Skarmory as well. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Thank you, Tweetin, again for the $10. Thank you. And for the people watching on Twitch, if you have Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime, you can link it with Twitch and subscribe for free. It's gonna help me out a lot. Obviously, if you want, of course. And yeah, tomorrow, guys, just going to be a premiere video. I created a tier list video, so I made a OU tier list in a video. I will post the tier list in my Discord server as well once the premiere is done. And basically, yeah, tiering all the OU Pokemon into an S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier, and giving my thoughts there. So if that sounds interesting, guys, definitely hit the notifications for that video. I will link it. But it's gonna be premiered tomorrow. Let's see, where is it? There it is. It's gonna be premiered tomorrow, guys. And yeah, once again, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for the support. 5,000 subscribers, that's what I'd like to see. Yeah, see you guys next time. Peace out.